The most central dimension from where religions spring up is the experiential dimension. Some personality, mystic, a prophet, etc. has some magical experience which gives him a glimpse into deeper reality, which is essentially spiritual. So this is the, if you like, the starting point, experiential dimension. Then you see the person, the prophet, whoever will try and put some kind of vocabulary, some kind of linguistic ploy to try and give expression to his experience. And this turns into, if you like, the narrative related to that religion. The narrative can vary. It can be the direct utterances of the prophets, or sometimes some colorful narrative stories that are kind of generated to put across these ideas. This is the second dimension. The third dimension is, if you like, the philosophic dimension. We like to see, okay, the prophet is talking about this and that. Does it make sense? Are these ideas, sensible? Are they rational? Do they sit well with each other, etc.? So the third dimension is the philosophic dimension. And the fourth dimension, old religions have, is, if you like, the ritual dimension. Don't forget, rituals kind of are like a continuous reminder of the spiritual dimension that we all possess. Then the fifth dimension is the ethical and moral dimension. How do these teachings influence the way you live your life and how you interact with other human beings? This is the fifth dimension. But the last one is actually a killer. It's the social dimension. People may think, well, this is how society reacts to the idea of religion, and this is the social dimension. That sounds fair enough. But in reality, there's a deeper idea that must be kind of, in a way, investigated or explored in this talk. Social dimension has a habit of compromising a deeper vision of religion. Social dimensions come with this kind of severe limitation and severe drawback, because in fact, the moment the religious ideas kind of try and enter society, the society has got a habit of turning it, kind of upside down. I'll just give you some examples of Hinduism, in Hinduism, where this has happened, and this has caused tremendous problem. For example, the idea of caste was simply division of labor based on your age and ability. This is the idea in the Purushukta, the scripture of authority. In no time, when it comes into society, it gets compromised, and we already talked about it, but I'll just touch on it again. This idea becomes hereditary, because essence is natural for human beings to try and pass on their skills to the next generation. So it turns into a hereditary system. See, it's a social dimension to ideas of spirituality. Then this other thing, it becomes hierarchical. We are more elite, more clever than you, and we know how to do the rituals. So it becomes elitist and creates, if you like, this kind of divisive idea of hierarchy. So it turns to hereditary, hierarchical caste system. See, this is the social aspect that in a way interferes with the pure vision of spirituality. But let me touch on two other areas which perhaps nobody's asked me questions on, but they're important. People say, Mr. Lakhani, we had this idea of sati tradition. Means when a husband dies, the wife has to, kill herself in the funeral pyre and embrace, this kind of death, a horrible death. Is it in our religion? Is it somewhere in the teachings of Hinduism or the prophets that the wives have to follow the husband? The answer is no. This is again a social aspect that has been done tremendous harm to Hinduism, the dignity of Hinduism and the dignity of women. Let me give you the background to both the sati tradition as well as the child marriages. Why are children married off at the age of 4, 5, 6? Come on, it's ludicrous. So let me touch on both of these. First of all, the sati tradition, as well as kind of getting children married at very young age, started. You'll be very surprised to hear this. Nothing to do with Hinduism. When the Muslim invaders came to India and they succeeded in conquering a particular kingdom, the queen, etc., were asked to kind of become the concubines of the conquering Muslim king. Either they are sold off as slaves, or have to kind of sleep in the bed of the person who has just killed the husband. So many women decided that rather than lose their dignity, they would rather jump in the funeral pyre of their husband and kill themselves. These are the words sati, because the very mythological story about sati jumping in the fire and killing herself. So they used the word sati appeared. This is just Hindu women trying to maintain their dignity and prepare to kill themselves rather than fall in the hands of the enemy. This is how it started. See, it has got nothing with Hinduism, just the dignity of womankind. So it's a very powerful thing to say. But then, see, this is the Muslims are not ruling us. They have not been ruling India for the last 200 years or 250 years, and still the sati tradition seemed to be going on. And when the British came, they said, oh, this is Hinduism, horrible. How did it carry on? You see, this is how the social dimension in a way compromises the deeper vision of religion. Is the society says, it is such a nice thing for I'm a rich man and my son has died at an early age, so let me send the wife to look after my son in the hereafter. So they were actually pushing the women, the widows, to take their own lives. This is a horrible thing we're doing. See, it has got nothing to Muslim invasion. Muslims were not going to kidnap the women. And yet, this is how it carried on. It's become a social dimension to tradition and done tremendous harm to the dignity of women as well as to Hinduism itself. That's why the word sati comes with Hinduism. It is, if you like, a social misuse of a very simple idea. They were just protecting their dignity, but the ordinary women, when the husband dies, don't have to jump in the funeral pyre, but they were prodded to do that. It's a social phenomena, but that man next door, when his son died, the wife went, so why can't my, daughter-in-law also die? This is how it turns into a social, nasty, I'm telling you, the social dimension can be highly damaging. This is one thing. The second thing, child marriages. You might think Hindus actually, until about 100 years, they were getting children married off at a very young age. What was all that about? Let me give you the background. Again, when the Muslim invasion took place, the Muslims were allowed to capture, take away Hindu young ladies, girls, even who were perhaps 12, 13-year-old, and make them their concubines. They just take them away as slaves. They could just pick them up and take them away. But one thing in Islam is that they were not allowed to take on married women. So in order to protect the little girls from being abducted by the invaders, the Hindus in that particular period were trying to protect the little daughters. So they said, let's get them married off at a young age. So we say, they are married, you can't take them away. So this is how it started. Nothing to do with Hinduism of getting children married off at the age of 5. But it was a protective measure taken during the Muslim invasion. Fair enough. Now the Muslims have stopped invading us, and for the last 200 years the British were ruling us, and still these child marriages were going on. So again, what has happened? The social dimension kicks in. It has become a habit now, and a mechanical habit that we have inherited from the Muslim invasion time, and we carry on with it. So if you like, the social dimension is a hereditary hierarchical caste system. The sati tradition, child marriages, if you like, is a carryover because of the social dimension interfering with the dignity of Hinduism. Please be aware of this.
Free e-learning course in Hinduism. To register, please visit www.hindu-academy.com.
Talks on Hinduism. Sponsored by People Care. Encouraging caring for the elderly in their own homes. For more information, please visit peoplecare.com.